Bam. Bam. It's 2:44. I was supposed to start at 2:40. It's August 16th, 2022. I'm John Schenk of Deerwood Realty, the founder, managing broker. We help buyers buy homes, sellers sell theirs. You are an audience that's undefined. I don't know who you are. But I do know that on our live stream today, we're going to talk about a couple of things. One, we're going to get right into a Compass earnings call discussion. Compass is a real estate brokerage that took the real estate brokerage world by storm by recruiting, and apparently they're supposed to be technology based, but I think that's kind of like a sales approach. I don't know that that's really any more technologically advanced than anybody else. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about spotted lanternflies. I don't know anything about spotted lanternflies. I'm just going to spotted lanternflies. I'm sorry. I said it wrong. We're going to talk about that. Apparently that's going to be an issue. And then later on in the show, we'll just get to some articles that I think are kind of interesting, or maybe you find interesting, or maybe, I don't know. I feel like I'm playing hurt today. You ever get one of those moods, get in one of those moods? I'm going to move the mic. It might make some noise. I apologize. There was a shadow hitting me right in the face. I don't know. Do you ever have those days that just don't go the way you think they're going to go? And at some point in time, you just kind of feel like resigned that that's the way the day is going to be. Today is one of those days for me. I don't know why. I have some showings tonight. I'm going to show a condo in South St. Louis. I think it's going to be pretty small. It's under 1,000 square feet, and it's for a family. And I just don't see how this is going to work, but I'll show it because that's what my job is. I was supposed to do a bunch of stuff today. Didn't get around to it. But I figured, look, there's some things I like to do. And one of those things is I like to live stream. Why? It's fun. It's fun to think in real time. It's fun to see if I can do it. Can I have cognizant thoughts and express them like while I'm live? I mean, if I make an error, do I get, canceled? Maybe. It depends on the error. Have I had some times on the live streams that have not gone well? Yes. The one time where I coughed that nasty phlegm on my, it came out. It was on my beard. It was pretty gross. That's pretty bad. The other time when I was really, really sick and somebody wrote like, "You're the worst live streamer ever." I might every once in a while, I look at my stats and it's like, I've produced hundreds of hours now of video and I don't have any subscribers meaningfully to show for it. I've got 94 subscribers, but by the way, 94 subscribers. I have been just killing it lately. I got 25 subscribers in the past 2 weeks. For me, that's amazing. I was going on periods where I wasn't getting a subscriber in a month or two. Now, is it because I'm a new streamer? I don't know. Is it because my channel is relatively new? I don't think it is relatively new anymore. I've had it since 2016. I just started doing live streams recently, but you know what I'm saying. It's not like that new. Now, would you ever want to get in touch with me? If you did, you could literally put it in the chat and I could answer it. I'm more than happy to just read off what you chat about. And later on, if you want to write a comment, I get every single comment on any of my channels, any of my videos. So I'm happy to respond there, depending on the situation. I mean, I don't like to get in too heavy into things online, but whatever. We're building a community of like-minded people who see the real estate game as one in which it's kind of silly, kind of absurd. And when we go over the Compass stuff today, it's like, what does this have to do with helping people buy homes or sell homes? Which is my number one goal. You say, well, John, why is that your number one goal? Well, because that's how I earn an income. I don't earn an income from talking about real estate. I don't earn an income from anything other than actually when people go and actually, buy a house or sell one. And so it's very important to me to do that. It's how I feed my family. It's how things go. Now, it seems rather obvious that a live stream is perfect for that, but it's not catching on. And so that makes it even more fun. I'm stubborn. It's one thing you'll find. Very stubborn. And we'll just keep at it. So with that being said, I figure let's get into stuff. There's no reason to talk for like 17 hours about stuff that's not interesting. Wanted to go over a couple of things, and so let's get to it. I do have my list, and I missed some things yesterday, and so I wanted to ask if I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Have you ever, I'm just going to put it out there. Okay. I'm going to share this. Have you ever seen this channel? Townsend's. It's on the YouTube. They also, I found out just recently, have a Townsend's Plus where you could watch their episodes and some content that's not on YouTube for just $10 a month. But what is this? Why did this show up in my YouTube one day? I don't know. What's fascinating to me is I have not watched it consistently, but I kind of binge watch it. And unlike some of the things in YouTube where like you see something once and you're like, hey, I kind of like that, and then it disappears forever because you forgot to subscribe. Townsend's comes back to my channel all the time, or to my YouTube when I'm watching it. And it's fascinating. So for those of you who don't know what Townsend's is, I don't know what it is. All I know is they're people that dress up like they're from the beginning of America, and then they build stuff. You talk about stuff. I think it's fascinating. I don't know how they're so good at it. I guess I think they've been around for like 11 years online. Maybe that's why. I was first introduced to the channel one time where a guy was the main guy was talking about politics, and he's like, I don't want politics in my, and some of you extrapolated politics from what we were talking about. And it was like, I'm sorry, I got stuck in situations. Okay. Sorry. I was messing. So anyway, he's like, I didn't make this video about politics. I made it about like, I don't know, cutting grass in the middle of the homestead. It's like, and so then I was like, well, I was kind of intrigued because anytime you do like a confessional video, I'll watch it. I'm a sucker for that. Like anytime I see like a title on YouTube, it's like, this is my last show, or I tried and failed, or, I'll watch it. Is it because of Schadenfreude? I don't know. I hope not. But anyway, so I was like, well, okay. So what is he doing that's so political? And he's taking, people have taken such offense to, and I'm watching it, and it's like, he's herding chickens or something like this is. So anyway, how do I explain escapism? I don't know how to define that. I'm gonna go look and see, because I want to see if I'm right. Because I don't know. So let's go and take a look here. It says, I'm just looking for a definition. Oh, I hit the wrong button, of course. Let me see here. It says the tendency to seek distraction and relief from unpleasant realities, especially by seeking entertainment or engaging in fantasy. Well, I don't think it's fantasy to watch this guy that's from the Midwest. No, he's not from the Midwest. He's from the East Coast, and he's building stuff like cabins and floors. I don't know. It's fantastic. It's what sports used to be for me. I used to love to watch sports. We didn't have to deal with any politics. We just went and watched the game. And then they turned it all political. Like everything became this big vat of politics. And so it was no longer escapism. If I'm being kind of harangued by the entire day by all these things that are going on around me, and then I want to watch a sporting event for fun, escapism, you know, I don't want to hear about all this craziness in the world. And so this Townsend's is, to me, escapism. Like, do I really care about how some, you know, early colonial person churned butter? No. But I like watching the guy or watching a girl, you know, try and figure out how to do it, right? How to store it. You know, like the other day I watched them literally put, like, they made a chicken fence. Like, I mean, in my backyard, like I just have grass and I'm in the middle of the suburbs. Like, I couldn't make one if I wanted to, but here they are. And it was fantastic. Oh God, I'm getting stuck with the real estate business. Sorry. Deal going sideways on me. So then 2 nights ago, I wasn't feeling great. And I've told you, like, today has not been a great day for me. And this guy and his friends are making bricks. Yeah, like bricks. And I was like, well, and he's not making them like, you know, bricks now. He's making bricks from back in the colonial age. I guess that's what it is. And so I was like, all right. Now he's making the bricks and I'm like, okay. And then some of the bricks didn't work out and his oven didn't go very well. So like, but then what are you going to do with the bricks? I got to stop this. This phone is just going crazy. All right, here. We've learned this lesson. Like, how long have I been doing this? We've got to turn the phones over or else it's just going to be all day. Okay. So what are you going to do with the bricks? What are you going to go do the bricks, Townsend? And he's like, well, I'm going to make a hearth. Now, I've seen him. He made like a cabin. Now, if you guys have seen this show and know what I'm talking about, and you think I'm not being accurate in the description, I apologize. I don't think I'm like the number one Townsend fan. I mean, I just watch it from time to time. Anyway, he's like, they made a cabin and like, then they made the roof for the cabin. I don't know. It's quite fascinating. And I am trying to send you to his channel or their channel to see something that I think is pretty darn non-political, pretty darn fun. Oh, the other day they made a well. They dug a well. I mean, who knew? Who knew? For me, it's not like because it's historically accurate or anything quite like that. It's just, it's fun to watch. Like, it's fun to watch other people work. For instance, you're not going to see me out there making clay or dressed in an outfit from colonial times. Although, I mean, I never thought I'd be a gardener and that happened. So who knows? But, I don't know that, like, YouTube has a lot of flaws, right? There are a lot of bad things about YouTube, but Townsend's isn't one of them. Watching that show watching them, you know, parade around in their outfits and, you know, make bricks, put a fence up for chickens. I mean, that's great stuff. So I just, you know, all of my, you know, 94 subscribers, if you want to go watch Townsend's and, you know, get back to me on that, go right ahead. I think it's fascinating. So I guess I'll move on from that. I thought it'd be a little more interesting than it ended up being, but like, I mean, okay. So, you know, I like to do the Google Trends. Have you seen this story? Well, no, because there's an ad like literally right where the thing goes. Okay, here we go. It says a cropolypse horror plague of spotted lanternflies descends on New York as experts warn vampire pests are destroyer of worlds. Well, that doesn't sound good. It sounds like I need to go back to the Townsends because that would be, fun relatively. It says a horror plague of spotted lanternflies has descended on New York as experts warn the pests are destroyer of worlds. State officials have urged the public to squash and kill the bugs immediately if they spot the fast-spreading, invasive, heart-shaped insects. It says that's what a spotted lanternfly looks like. It says the bugs can wipe out crops and weaken trees by sucking on the sap. It says the creatures have been spotted crawling near Wall Street on the Upper East Side near the UN headquarters and swarming trees in Brooklyn and Staten Island. U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer has warned the invasion of the plant-hopping pests has now reached an infestation level and urged New Yorkers to stomp out the bug. It says, dubbed plant vampires by experts, the spotted lanternfly is a pest from China that first emerged in the United States in 2014 before hitchhiking to nearly a dozen other states. The silvery blue-gray insects, often mistaken for a colorful butterfly or moth, fly slowly and don't bite, but they pose a terrifying threat to crops, wineries, plants, and trees. So let me get this straight. There's a bug from China that somehow got to New York City, and it's gonna eat everything. It says the creatures, branded a destroyer of worlds by an expert at the Smithsonian, were first discovered in Pennsylvania and have now been found in states such as New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and New York. Spotted lanternflies aren't harmful to humans, but the apocalyptic invasion of the bugs can have a drastic impact on the economy. They can wipe out crops including blueberries, apples, and grapes and destroy trees by sucking on the sap. As sap-sucking mob feeders, they can quickly overwhelm vineyards and orchards, killing grapevines. It's hard for me on the Sun to know, here. I don't even know where to read the article and what's It says, Schumer said, summer is the perfect time to relax outdoors with a nice New York Riesling, but the rapid spread of the invasive spotted lanternfly threatens to suck the life out of our vineyards, agriculture, and great outdoor tourism industry. I didn't know there was a great outdoor tourism industry in New York City. I would think that Niagara Falls, maybe. I've been through Western New York. It's pretty. It says we need to stomp out this bug before it spreads. Otherwise, our farmers and local businesses could face millions in damage and an unimaginable swarm. So now we're going to kill the bug, which is fine. It just seems kind of odd to me that you're going to have people I don't know. I'm just trying to get a good picture. It says, for years now, I've warned about the pest, but now we are demanding action because pockets of upstate New York are now infested by the bug that wreaks havoc on the trees, vineyards, and crops. This is a multi-million-dollar threat to New York's economy. Both tourism and agriculture are now at risk if the spotted lanternfly goes unchecked. It says one study revealed how the jumping insects they don't fly, can cause $324 million worth of economic damage. Authorities in New York have urged residents to learn how to identify the bugs and how to destroy them using vinegar, soapy water, or hand sanitizer. It just seems like a waste of hand sanitizer. In the fall, spotted lanternflies lay their eggs on anything from tree trunks and rocks and vehicles and garden furniture. It means people may unknowingly transport the eggs over long surface distances into new areas. If you see a spotted lanternfly in New York City, kill it immediately by stepping on it or crushing it. Lanternfly hunter Jonathan Newton. Like, there's a guy whose job is to hunt lanternflies. It says lanternfly hunter Jonathan Nunez estimates he kills 200 to 400 lanternflies a week. Does he stomp them? He says he told The Guardian, sometimes I just slap them. They're slow. You literally put your hand 45 degrees, they'll die. He says, it kills me because I really do like bugs, and they're not ugly bugs. So is it ironic to you that he used the term it kills me when he's killing, like that's his job? It says New Yorkers who spot the insect should take pictures of the pest and email an email address along with the location. Wow, that is something. You don't normally hear like people say you should kill animals, like insects or anything. Like let's just talk about it for a moment. I'm gonna flip the camera back to the screen. I don't like mosquitoes. Now, does anybody else, like mosquitoes? I don't know, but I don't like them. And the reason I don't like them is when I go in my backyard, I am constantly attacked by them. And I'll just tell you the story because, we've got time. Why not? My wife is wonderful. I have nothing negative to say about my wife. She said, I said, hey, let's get a bat house. Let me construct a bat house, and then we can have bats, and the bats will eat the mosquitoes, and then we won't have to worry about them. And she said, no. She said, absolutely not, John. You're not making a bat house. You're not putting one up in the backyard. I don't care. And now this is where kind of this is. My wife has some sort of blood or something that mosquitoes find not interesting. So she can literally go outside and stand there, and she can have no bites. Last night we were outside, the two of us, nothing but her, and I had 7 mosquito bites, and I'd killed 2 of the mosquitoes while they were on me. None for her. But just on a side note, I was showing houses with some buyers the other day, and the husband actually got more mosquito bites. Like they attack him more than they attack me. And so like I went bug free outside for the bite free, and it was the first time ever. And I was like, so this is what it feels like to not be the one that every mosquito is coming at. But anyway, wife says, no mosquito for you. No mosquito. No bat for you. No bat house. And I said, well, that's sad. I wanted a bat house. But I mean, I kind of understand. If you see our yard, I don't know that bats would really want to hang out there, but I stopped looking at bats, and I don't know, I happened to be on Google or something, and then I learned about dragonflies. Apparently dragonflies also kill mosquitoes. And so I got myself a pond. I built a pond, and I'm currently building the pond out, but I'm trying to grow dragonflies so they'll kill the mosquitoes because I can't stand the mosquitoes. So that's my story. Now, these lanternflies in New York, should they kill them? Yes, but I don't know. It's just weird to see people like we have the emerald ash borer here. I don't know. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at rates. Here's your rates. This is on DeerwoodRealtySTL.com. It's got 5.29% for the 30-year fixed, rises 4 basis points from yesterday. Still, if the Fed is raising interest rates, the mortgage rates are coming down, kind of. I mean, that's the ramp right there. So it's going the opposite of what they said it should do. I don't know how long it's going to last. I've said that if we can keep below 5.5%, I'm pretty comfortable. And so I guess now we'll get into the story of the week. So Compass last night. Now let me tell you my as a broker, let me tell you my impression of Compass. Compass came to the brokerage world, and they're like, hey, oh, I got to move to here. I screwed that up. I'm sorry. Here. You didn't see that it was that way. Oh, no, I did it the wrong one. That's my favorite. So anyway, there's the thing. So let's talk about Compass. Compass said, hey, we are a technology brokerage, and we're going to change the way people do real estate forever. Which is like, if you want to sell somebody up the river, that's the first thing you do is you come up with a narrative that sounds reasonable on the top, and that hopefully that doesn't cause people to ask questions. So then it's like, okay, well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to revolutionize real estate brokerages, because real estate is such an old industry. No one, that it needs upheaval, and we're going to be the ones that do it. And so I was like, okay. And then they came up with these sweet compensation packages for the agents to get them to come to Compass. And I was like, okay, all right, that seems. And in the back of all this, they're pretty much, run by a hedge fund, a Wall Street backed firm where they can just lose millions and millions and millions, and they'll still pump money into them. So what their goal is just essentially take away market share from everyone else. That's everyone's goal. It's just, they're doing things that I can't do. I don't have a couple hundred millions behind me to back me up. But anyway, all these people were going to Compass as agents, and people were writing at the time, hey, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They don't make a lot of money. They're kind of like Redfin. Redfin doesn't make any money. And it's like, how long can you keep going and not make money? Well, Redfin's gone for like 20 years now. I think they've had like one profitable quarter their entire existence. If you get enough Wall Street backing, you can go on forever. And so Compass stunned the real estate world when they became, I think, the top brokerage last year. They beat out, brands that had been going for maybe 100 years. I mean, it's really impressive. So I like, if I do a deal and it's a Compass agent, do I care? No. Like say I'm the listing agent, and somebody from Compass comes and says, we want to buy the house. Okay, write an offer. If I'm writing an offer for a house that's listed by Compass, do I care? No, I just write the offer like I normally would. There's no difference. I don't see it. But maybe you do. Maybe you think that's a great brokerage, and that's fine. I don't want to rip on Compass. I don't care. But like, I'm not going there, and their agents aren't coming to me. So it's kind of like, it's okay. But I wanted to get into it. They released their earnings last night, and there were a couple articles, and I just want to go over what they're saying. This is from Mike Del Preet, but I never get his last name right. He's the authority on pretty much anything technology related in real estate. Okay. It says deeper cuts announced as Compass's cash burn continues. Compass's second quarter results are in with a higher than expected cash burn rate for the quarter, but paired with a robust set of new cost cutting initiatives. Okay. So $45 million worse than he expected. So this is like how much cash they have on hand. And if they keep up like this, it's not going well. It says why it matters. Compass has a cash burn problem. It spends more than it makes. You know what? Pretty much anybody that spends more than it makes over time, it doesn't turn out well. It says, and it needs to significantly reduce expenses to remain solvent, which is exactly what it's doing. Management's top goal is generating free cash flow, as it announced a new $320 million cost reduction program. The Compass CEO took the unusual step of asserting that Compass will not run out of cash. Now, listen, I don't know that there's ever going to be as hot of a market as there has been for the past year or two in my lifetime. If you're a real estate brokerage, if you're a mortgage lender and you couldn't make it now, do you know what's coming? I mean, it's not going to stay like this. I'm not predicting like some terrible crash, but I do think that the market will kind of even itself out. You're losing money when times are good. What's going to happen when times are bad? It says go deeper. Compass's challenge is that it burned through another $45 million in Q2, typically the most profitable quarter of the year for real estate brokerages. That is not mine would be Q3. I always get like a late start. Like this year, I didn't get going until like May. And then things started happening. Winter's tough for me. Anyway, last year, Q2 was the only quarter where Compass generated free cash flow with a $40 million gain. Cash burn was higher in quarter one last year and higher in quarter two than last year. I'm sorry, let me read that again. Cash burn was higher in quarter one than last year and higher in Q2 than last year. In a rapidly cooling market, the pressure is on for the rest of the year. So, like just in the quarter, in Q1 of 2021, they lost $100 million in one quarter. More money than I'm ever going to see in my lifetime. Then they had a $41 million gain before they instantly went back to like, maybe they lost 20 million. And then Q4 of 2021, they lost like 100 and God knows what million. More than 100 million again in Q1. And now they're at $45 million. This isn't good. This isn't good. And what I don't believe in fairness. Okay. I mean, I really don't. But I mean, American business to me is all about selling an idea that may or may not be profitable, but sounds good. And you need to sell it to someone like a Wall Street backed firm. You need to sell your idea. It doesn't matter what it is. Sell your idea to a Wall Street backed firm and then watch as you can collect money as the executive, or you can get a bunch of stock, and then wait for them to kick you out of the position after you've made at least a couple $1 million. And then go about your business doing something else. It doesn't seem like it's about the actual business. So like, watch. Here's Deerwood Realty. Here's what I do. I look for buyers and I look for sellers. So I advertise my services to those groups, okay, with the intent that they're going to use me to help buy or sell a home. So I'm going to trade my expertise for cash payment. And then if I do that enough times, I'll have enough money to cover my expenses and provide, cover my business expenses, and then possibly provide for food for my family. I mean, that's the bottom line. My business is entirely based around providing food for my family by helping others with the knowledge that I've learned over the years in this business. Compass's goal as a company is not my goal. Their goal is different. Their goal is to come up with some sort of sales pitch that they can sell to Wall Street, and Wall Street will actually believe them, so that they get a lot of money for God knows what to burn. Clearly, $100 million 1 year, $150 million another quarter. They just need money to burn. And so that's their goal. It isn't about my business. It isn't about me buying and selling houses. They don't care. They don't give a damn if anybody buys or sells a house in their brokerage. It'd be nice. They may not lose as much money, but their goal is to simply sell the idea that they are a new, and they're going to destroy the real estate industry with their disruptor. I mean, that's a good word to use if you want to get venture funds. And then someday the founders will leave the company because things will go so poorly. Agents will leave pretty soon based on what I'm seeing. And then Wall Street will pick itself back up and find someone new to throw their money at. I mean, if that's something that you like, then go for it. It says between Q1 and Q2, Compass grew its brokerage revenue in line with its peers, except Douglas Elliman for some reason. So, I mean, they've acquired agents, they're doing deals, and their revenue is increasing. Okay. It says the cooling market appears to be affecting all brokerages evenly, regardless of brand. Tech tech platform, agent compensation, or anything else. It should be affecting you. I would say more so the bigger brokerages than me, because again, I don't make enough deals to where I'm going to affect a whole metropolitan area. It says Compass is retaining its agent. There has yet to be a noticeable decrease in the agent growth, a positive sign for the company. When that turns, look out. After layoffs earlier in the year, Compass is cutting deeper with a $320 million cost reduction program. These cuts will target technology spend and their agents' incentives. Remember, Compass has a 1,000-person tech team. For reference, Compass is on track to spend $360 million on technology in 2022. The cuts will likely hit this team hard. So what are they going to do? Drop it to $40 million? I'm just doing the math. If they're supposed to spend 360 and they're going to save 320, that's 40. The bottom line, Compass continues to have a cash burn problem, but running out of cash would be a weird outcome. To become cash flow positive, Compass is making major cuts. The question is, can it do so while still remaining attractive to and providing the same value to its agents? That is the question. Do I have an answer for you? No, I do not. I did get an email just now about a triple net lease in a Santa Fe Chili's for a 5% cap rate. You think I'm interested in that? No. I've been trying to get out of I get all these emails, and it's like, what am I going to do with it? I don't know. All right, let's move on. This is the third article. This is our second article. I'm sorry, we're going over the Compass thing, and this is from Wolf Street. It says, Compass prepares for a 25% downturn in the housing market, plans serious cost cutting, pukes all over the place. Because suddenly the SoftBank-backed company, which blew $1.73 billion since 2017, is running out of money. And this is the highlight. This is the headline. This is the way I see it. This SoftBank, I don't know who they are. I think they're Japanese or something, a sovereign fund or something. They invest in all these companies in real estate specifically. And I don't know why, but I think it's just to destroy the real estate market for me. I think that's what they're doing. And so they've given this company $1.73 billion since 2017. It says, Compass, which calls it the number one brokerage in the U.S. and has for years hyped its technology, has built itself more as a tech company than a real estate broker, whacked folks over the head multiple times this evening. They are the number one brokerage in the U.S. It's pretty crazy. And they have hyped their technology. I used to have a CRM, and I don't remember what it was called off the top of my head. I think I paid $14.99 a month for it. Contactually, it was called. Compass bought that. So I couldn't be with that CRM anymore. I don't know if it's understood that I can't go and be part of a CRM that's part of another real estate brokerage. Like, that wasn't going to work. But that's what they did. So, all right. Anyway, it says with another huge loss, $101 million this time, bringing the total losses since 2017 to $1.73 billion, a real estate brokerage, for crying out loud. With Q2 revenues that barely grew and missed guidance, with shocking cuts in its Q3 revenue guidance, forecasting a 25% plunge in revenues when analysts had expected revenue growth. With a morsel from CEO Robert Reffkin during the earnings call, the Fed took repeated actions which have had the direct effect of driving down our revenue. Really? I showed you the Deerwood Realty mortgage interest rates. If you think that is true. And you say, with another morsel from Reffkin, we are preparing for the real estate market this year to be nearly 25% below where industry experts believe it would be just 6 months ago. That's why you don't pay attention to the experts. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. And with a plan to cut costs and buy a lot, a company whose business model has been growth at all costs. That's right. They're trying to grow. They were always trying to grow. We're a growth company, and you wanted to be a part of that if you were a stock investor. What happens when the narrative shifts? Do you still want to be part of it? CEO Reffkin explained during the earnings call, there's still buyer demand and still prices are flat in good markets. They're modestly down in the more challenged markets, but there's no longer multi-offers everywhere like we have before. Days on market are definitely increasing, and so overall, we're still negative on outlook. Look, it says Katumpf made the shares in afternoon trading today, plunging between 12 and 20% to just over $4, having collapsed by 82% from the first trading day after the IPO in 2021. The shares have plunged so much that today's after-hours debacle is barely visible. Like, seriously, what are these people, like, who got sold Compass shares at $20 a share and thought that was a good plan? I mean, because of technology in real estate? The cost-cutting thing is funny because Compass was never designed to make a profit in the first place. It was designed to rake in cash from investors by promising them forever growth and then blowing this cash to achieve its growth. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm always talking about. It seems that's the model, especially in real estate. And the people in Wall Street keep falling for it. I don't know. I don't understand. In its startup phase, it raised $1.5 billion, including from the geniuses over at SoftBank, and then raised $450 million during its IPO in April of 2021. Now, look. Now, I'm not a mathematician by any stretch of the imagination, and my math is poor, but my understanding is $1.5 billion plus $450 million is almost $2 billion that this company is just pissing away. I mean, seriously, honestly, like, I have to buy a Supra for a lock and they were $180. I have to seriously budget for that. Okay. Like, $180 is something I got to pay real close attention to. And these people, these clowns are out there blowing billions or hundreds of millions. I mean, it's crazy. It says, Compass spent the last years going around the U.S. blowing this money by overpaying for real estate brokerages and poaching brokers from other brokerages, promising them oodles of money and stock-based compensation to the moon, and by plowing large amounts of cash into developing its much-hyped software platform, all based on the promise of forever growth and forget profits. Well, you know, Wall Street loves a good growth story. And as far as, you know, if someone, like, I'll never forget, I was working for an investor, and he's a slimy dude. And he's like, we'll just go get some more agents. I was like, well, how do we do that? He's like, just, everyone likes to be recruited. Everyone's flattered that they're wanted. And he was right. You could recruit people left and right by just calling them and saying, hey, would you come work for us? It's crazy. So when you're getting money thrown at you from some high growth company, I mean, I guess you have to take it. It says, but now the scenario has gotten shook-a-lacked by the downturn in the housing market and the projected plunge in revenues. In its prior earnings call on May 12th, Compass already announced that it had stopped all expansion in new markets and buying other brokerages. In early July, Compass announced it would lay off 10% of its workforce, about 450 employees. So in today's earnings release, it said market conditions were extremely challenging in Q2. And they weren't. That's the issue, is I was in the market. Was it, I mean, how challenging was it? I mean, everyone was doing pretty well. I wasn't, because I'm not a big brokerage, but people were getting transactions, okay? There were a lot of transactions that were happening. I just wasn't a part of many of them. And it announced a new cost reduction program that would cut almost $320 million in operating expenses over the 12-month period compared to the 12-month period through June. And this cost cutting would allow them to generate positive free cash flow in 2023 in this environment of sharply dropping revenues. Yeah, they're going to be cash flow positive during the 25% downturn after having burned huge piles of cash during the hottest real estate market ever. Yep, I got it. Now, this guy, I don't even know who he is, but he's dead on the money. I mean, maybe he understands, maybe he's been part of a real estate brokerage. I mean, I don't think you have to be to understand that this whole thing is just whacked. And they fall for this. This Compass is Redfin, essentially. Compass is Zillow iBuying. I mean, people just believe it. It doesn't matter if the numbers are just putrid. It said specifically, we plan to reduce our two biggest areas of expense, technology and incentives to acquire agents. Oh, well, that seems great. That seems like a great plan. You know, the whole reason why you're growing is because you're acquiring agents left and right. And now you're not going to try and do that. It says, if the market gets worse, we will pursue the necessary steps to achieve that goal, being free cash flow positive in 2023. Chief Operating Officer Greg Hart said during the conference call. Cutting costs when your business model is growth at all costs is always a peculiar thing. But now as the housing market has turned down and home sales have dropped, it's much harder to make a sale and get the commissions. Cost cutting is doubly peculiar for a growth at all costs company. It's in essence admitting the defeat of the business model that it had hyped to investors all along. Absolutely. Absolutely. What happened now is all of a sudden, Compass, who's going to use technology, we're going to disrupt the industry. Turns out they're not going to do anything to the industry. It's going to be the exact same as the industry's been for years. They're doing nothing. It was all just to sell. It was all just to sell. And people bought it. Wall Street investors bought it. Real estate agents bought it. The media bought it. Everyone said, oh, this is amazing. It says, and that's a desperate move because investors will be fleeing, making it that much harder to raise new money to burn. So if that was the goal of this company, which it sure does seem like it was, like they've got a problem. They've got a serious problem. It says, Compass has reason to make this desperate move. It may be running out of runway. It reported net cash used in operating activities of $120 million in the first half of 2022. It ended the quarter with $430 million in cash, down from $618 million 6 months ago. So at this rate of cash burn, you can count on the fingers of your hands how many quarters the company has left before the cash will be all burned. And then what happens? Then is it goodbye Compass? The brokerage universe is littered with brokerages that couldn't make it. Why can't they make it? It's hard business. A lot harder than you'd think. You have to convince agents that they're better off working for you than working for someone else. How do you do that? Well, it's the way you treat them. Well, if you can't treat them well, meaning compensate them better than someone else can, not good. Not good. So that was article number 2. Article number 3, Compass ends recruitment incentive program amid growing losses. Despite its highest quarterly revenue haul on record, Compass lost $101 million in Q2. This is the issue. It's like you had so much revenue, but you still lost money. It's terrible. And if you couldn't have done it during this last quarter, when can you do it if the market's going down? It says Compass's financial challenges continued in the second quarter as the brokerage failed to turn a profit despite recording its largest quarterly revenue haul yet, and a 2% increase in transaction size. So just for people like me, they've got more agents, they've got an increase in transaction size, they've got the largest revenue they've ever had, and yet they're still losing themselves. I mean, just losing significant amounts of cash. They're bleeding cash. Never a good thing. It says Compass generated $202 billion in revenue in the second quarter, up 4% year over year, but also recorded at least a net loss of $101 million, up from $7 million a year ago. The firm attributed the net loss to higher expenses related to strategic business initiatives, non-cash stock compensation, depreciation, amortization, as well as restricting costs. The brokerage's largest expense was for commissions and other related expenses, which came in at $1.62 billion. Now, commissions, like, I don't know what their commission structure is. I don't really care. One of the things that I would like to mention about commissions in general is that if I, as the listing agent, if I put down a commission, okay, we're agreeing with a buyer's agent that this is the commission. We're going to split it X, Y, Z different ways. Okay. That's like a fixed amount. Okay. And so, like, let's just say something silly, which is what I think goes on. So let's say on a house that the commission that the brokerage receives is, say, I don't know, $2,500. Let's say that. So on that deal, the most the brokerage can pay out is $2,500 because that's all that it got in. I suspect some of these brokerages are paying out more than they're getting in. So Sally has a deal for $2,500 and Mike has a deal for $5,000. Okay. So somehow Sally gets like after expenses and everything, Sally somehow gets $2,700 and Mike somehow gets like $5,700 because somebody else, I don't know. It just, the numbers to me and the way they do the compensation don't seem to add up. I'm not accusing them of doing anything. I'm saying it seems to me like where brokerages should get in trouble is when they try to pay out more than what they bring in, which should lead to a negative, a cash burn, basically. It says, in an effort to curb expenses and steer the firm toward profitability, CEO Robert Refkin announced on a call with investors Monday afternoon the start of what he termed Compass's zero incentive program. In the past, Compass attracted and recruited agents to the firm through favorable commission splits and cash incentives. But according to Refkin, those days are over now. So I'm curious that if let's say Compass says, hey, you're a great agent, we'll give you $1,000 if you come to our brokerage. And so you say, oh, that sounds good. So you go over there. And by the way, these are going to be your splits. These are the ones you agree to. All right, fine, great. Now, do they go and change those splits now? How angry would you be if you're a Compass agent and they changed your split? Because the reason you went over there wasn't because you had this lifelong affinity for Compass. Compass wasn't even around 10 years ago. So, what are you doing as an agent? It says, we are no longer recruiting agents with equity or cash incentives. Our ability to do this is a reflection of the value the platform provides. Over time, we have invested over $900 million to build an unprecedented platform of tools and services to support our agents. We believe we have created a large competitive moat with an enduring advantage over competitors that are unable or unwilling to build the tools that better benefit agents. I just don't believe that. No offense. I just don't believe that. I mean, at the end of the day, real estate is about people. How many people do I know that want to use me for my services to help them buy or sell a house? Okay. It's the technology component. I mean, anybody can do a CRM. Okay. Like yours isn't going to be that much better than anybody else's. Anybody can do transaction management software. Anyone can do a website. Like there's no moats there. It's the people that you bring on. It's the people that you bring. It's not the agents. It's not the agents themselves. Like you can bring on a crappy agent and your technology isn't going to fix that. You just have a crappy agent. And if you're an agent and you're crappy and you say, well, I'm going to go where they have the best technology, you're a crappy agent because of what you're just choosing. There's no reason to assume that the technology is going to save you in this business. If you're a terrible agent, you're a terrible agent. It says, in addition, executives also say they plan on cutting technology spending. However, COO Greg Hart noted that the brokerage plans to announce several new features as part of its platform in September, enabling agents to go from first contact to close on one platform. Not necessary, but okay. We are confident that the situation we've built is the best in the industry for agents to grow their business. It's also what helps make Compass unique and helps us retain agent. It helps recruiting them as well. So what I'm like, I just kind of have to go over this from my perspective. Okay. As an agent, like, I'm sorry, I'm getting, so anyway, I got to put the phone back down. If you're an agent, okay, and they're like, hey, we've got this technology platform. Is your platform better than Redfin's? Is it better than Keller Williams? Is it better than whatever Coldwell Banker is calling itself these days? I mean, that's where I'm at. And then, even then, is it worth the commission splits? Is it worth, I mean, it really, really, you should be asking yourself this if you're a prospective agent thinking about going to any company. Refkin shared Hart's certainty that cutting technology spending and ending agent incentives would not impact the brokerage's agent retention. Wow, I don't know about that, which was above 90% during the second quarter. Additionally, didn't we see that article like in New York City where Serhant, he knocked off Compass as the top number of agents in New York City? Is he doing it on technology? No, he's doing it on personality. Additionally, the brokerage added 405 new agents to its roster during a quarter with combined sales value of over $2.25 billion in 2021. Overall, Compass agents recorded 68,846 transactions in Q2, and the firm's market share rose 50 basis points from a year ago to 4.6%. Think about that. They're probably the largest brokerage in the United States right now, and their total market share is 4.6% of the total market. The other thing, think about this. They added 405 new agents to their roster in 2021. That's all? 405? I mean, a big office in St. Louis right now probably has 100 agents. I mean, in St. Louis, one brokerage. And we're not a big place. We've only got like 3.5 million people in our metro area. And then they're look, if you're getting stock options, okay, as an agent to be part of Compass, and if you just take a look at the stock itself and it's just going down and down and down, how long are you going to stay? I'm just asking. I'm not picking on agents that choose to go to Compass or choose to go to Redfin or choose to go to Keller Williams or choose to go to whatever Coldwell Banker is calling itself now. I mean, it was Realogy, just so you know. I did remember it, but I don't remember what it is now. It was in fact, it came through. Is it at home or something? I don't know. Anyway, the brokerage also told investors that it is continuing to explore ancillary services as a way to improve revenue. As noted during its first quarter earnings call, Compass has paused its merger and activity acquisitions. However, CFO Kirsten Ankerbrandt told investors the brokerage is focused on building out title insurance solutions and eventually homeowner insurance solutions through organic growth. In June, as part of the firm's cost reduction program, Compass shut down Modus Technologies, a Seattle-based company that it bought in October 2020, viewed as its entry point into the title and escrow space. So they already shut down something that they plan on growing with organically now? The next thing they're going to do is say that they're into mortgages. And I'm going to check something. I'm going to try and check it off camera for a second just to see how that's going to go. I'm checking here. So what if they do go into ancillary services? Let me go over here. So you say, well, so the narrative is, okay, we're going to go into ancillary services. We're going to go in title and escrow, maybe home mortgages. Redfin's tried that. It says, looking ahead, Compass executives said the firm is committed to managing expenses and improving profitability. Well, they should be, because they're burning through cash like crazy. It says we are now in a position to pivot in these uncertain they should say shift. And that would piss off Keller Williams because he wrote a book. Gary Keller wrote a book called Shift. It's hilarious. Anyway, when revenue is under pressure, since our Q1 earnings call in May, we've been taking more aggressive action to achieve positive free cash. Oh, you better be out of money. Now, what happens when a company like a technology-based real estate company tries to do something that it hasn't ever done well? Zillow Home Loans continues its unprofitable run. Like much of the industry, Zillow's mortgage operation, which includes Zillow Home Loans, has seen a steep decline in revenue and continues to burn cash. Why it matters: attaching mortgage is a key component of Zillow's housing super app and future growth strategy. The longer it falters, the less likely Zillow is to achieve its long-term aspirations. Zillow's 2025 goal includes an additional $800 million in revenue from adjacent services, primarily mortgage. See, this is the problem. Like Compass itself. Now, I'm not. Let's take Zillow separate, but Compass itself says, all right, we're not doing very well. We're burning through cash as a traditional brokerage, but we're using technology. And so Wall Street investors don't know that we're just a regular brokerage. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pivot because we're doing terrible at the brokerage, and we're going to go into other. I had a fly just attack me. We're going to have other, and by the way, I have a fly attack me. I don't know why. I think they like the lights. We're going to have ancillary services now. We can't do it as a brokerage. We're terrible at that. But now we're going to, do ancillary service, title and mortgage, loans. Okay. We're going to be a one-stop shop for the real estate, for the person buying or selling real estate. And let me tell you something, not as a criticism, but I've known this since 1980 that this has been the plan. Sears actually had a brokerage for a while, real estate brokerage. They were going to be a one-stop shop. You could go buy, dresses, skirts, men's clothes, and also get a house. It doesn't work for some. I don't know why it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't seem to work. Just based on history. So it says, dig deeper. Zillow's mortgage segment, which includes its mortgage lead gen marketplace and in-house lender Zillow Home Loans, is consistently unprofitable. In the first half of 2022, Zillow spent $1.85 for every $1 in mortgage revenue. That's $65 million loss in the first half of 2022 and a combined loss of $180 million since 2017. And then under context, the entire mortgage industry is getting hammered this year with dropping leads, loan volumes, and revenue. But even before the recent slowdown, Zillow Home Loans struggled with attach rates and consistent unprofitability during boom years. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association study, 96% of mortgage firms were profitable in 2021. Zillow Home Loans was not. Now, 96% of mortgage firms. Now, do you remember that company Better.com? I don't know if they're still in existence. They were going to revolutionize home mortgages. There's like Rocket Mortgage. I don't know how they're doing right now. But Zillow Mortgage is clearly not doing well. It says the bottom line, Zillow Home Loans' path to profitability remains long, arduous, expensive, and uncertain. Ultimately, attaching mortgage makes a great slide on investor presentations, but it's very hard in real life. That's absolutely true. Mike understands this stuff. Mike understands. Anyway, this is just like the mortgage, this is just the real estate business. I think a lot of people think that myself as a real estate broker, all I do is concentrate on, recruiting agents and talking a bunch of smack about technology and how it's going to, no. My business is based around me doing transactions. That's what my business is based around. And I read these things by these other people. And it's why I don't get scared that they're going to run me out of business, because they can't run their own business. Okay. They can't run their own business. They shed money left and right. And so I'm supposed to be worried about this guy, this company here. Seriously, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. The level of bullshit somebody will put out. It's amazing. So anyway, I want to go over one other article today, totally off topic. Thought you'd enjoy this one. It says mansplainer torments neighbor with passive aggressive parking instructions. And here's the sign. Look at this. This person parked poorly. By the way, have you seen an uptick in bad parking? I'm asking you because I have. 2 times in the past 2 months, I've had someone park their car to where I can hardly get out of my spot. I'm already parked there, and they're parked at an angle. I'm kind of doing it with the cameras, but they're so I have to somehow do this in my spot just to get out. Twice. My wife was so angry at one fellow. She was like, take a picture of that and put it on the internet. And I was like, no, that's not who I am. Have I parked poorly? I typically try to, it's like a respect issue. I like to park well so that the person can get out, next to me. It's just kind of who I am. It says, we've all been in that situation where we've been driving around a crowded parking lot, just desperate for a spot when we see that one person obnoxiously taking up 2 spots with their car. Yes, we've all been there, and it's terrible. It says some people leave notes when they're angry, but this person left a diagram on the proper way to park. Nice. That's helpful. Thank you. Some people leave notes when they're angry, but this person left a diagram on the proper way to park. The diagram was posted on Reddit by someone under the name Mr. Really Bad Gamer to the page Casual UK. The user wrote that the note wasn't on his car, but it was on another car on a street. It showed a car that was parked across the line, separating one parking lot from another. The diagram even included a drawing of the correct way to park and gave the bad parking job a rating of 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 for effort. Must try harder. Now, I love 2 out of 10 for effort. Giving someone points for effort, that made it funny to me. It says immediately people went into the comment section to express their opinions on the matter. I don't know. I'm not going to go read that part because I don't care. It says one user criticized the drawing, saying both sets of cars were parked incorrectly because they didn't leave enough room for vehicles next to them to back out of the space. I mean, if you want to be ultra picky, you'd point out that the cars in the top row are technically not parked correctly, as you're supposed to park with your left wheels as close to the left line as possible. Everyone does this. Everyone has room to get out. Problem is almost no one anywhere does this, meaning we all have to live through trying to squeeze out of tiny gaps on either side of the car. I do not do this. I was not aware of this practice. I park in the center of the space, and I assume the next person's going to park in the center of the space, and then I thought we'd all have enough room. Because I want to be able to have my people get out on my passenger side too. It says another user defended the way the person parked by pointing out that people take up extra spaces to preserve the paint on their car. They're not managing to park like this. They're doing it deliberately so someone doesn't open their car door into the precious paint work. Some people just thought the entire thing was funny. I'll tell you what, I think it's a jerk move to take up extra spots to save your paint. If it's like let's say we're at a Lowe's parking lot, okay? If you're like in the first, I'd say 14 spots, and you're taking up 2 spots for your paint, you're a jerk. Now, if you're way at the end of the parking lot where nobody's parking anyway, and you take up 2 spots, totally good. No issue there whatsoever. So that does matter. And then it says, ouch, hit them with that not angry, just disappointed thing. Reconsider your suitability for a driving license time. I don't know what that means because it's British English and it makes no sense to me. That's what I'm going with. 1 hour and 6 minutes we're in. Going to be 1 hour and 7 before I cut out. I'm going to put it right here. Well, we've had another live stream. It happened. Whether you were aware or not, it happened, and now it's going to go. We're going to have to wait till tomorrow to talk about more real estate news, topics, things of interest to me, hopefully to you. I had a good show. I feel a little bit better. I feel like I got something done. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you on the next one.